My husband demanded that I donate my kidney as an obligation as his wife, saying married couples shared everything, including organs. My husband Xavier came home from his doctor appointment and announced I needed to get tested as a kidney donor immediately. Not asked, announced. Said his kidneys were failing and I was obligated to save him as his wife. I asked what happened to cause sudden kidney failure. He said it didn't matter. What mattered was scheduling my surgery. I said I needed time to think about major surgery. He said there was nothing to think about. Married couples shared everything, including organs. That's not how marriage or organs work, but Xavier was already planning my recovery schedule around his needs. I asked about other options like dialysis or the donor list. He said those were for people without family donors, and I was right here. His mother, Ruth, called an hour later saying she'd raised me better than to let her son die. Raised me? I met her when I was 25. She said real wives don't hesitate to sacrifice for their husbands. I said real mothers would offer their own kidneys first. She said she was too old at 58, the same age as me. Getting a kidney removed apparently wasn't too old. Xavier's brother Glenn called next saying I was being selfish. I asked if he'd been tested as a donor. He said he couldn't risk surgery with his important job. He sold insurance from home. But somehow my job as a pediatric nurse wasn't important enough to avoid risk. The guilt campaign continued all week. Xavier's sister Paula said I'd be a murderer if Xavier died. His father Bill said I'd never forgive myself. His aunt Catherine said the family would never forgive me. Everyone had opinions about my kidney, but nobody offered theirs. I went to my own doctor for information. She ran tests and said something interesting. My blood type wasn't compatible with Xavier's. I was O positive. He needed A negative. I could never have been his donor. But Xavier knew my blood type. It was on my medical bracelet I wore for allergies. He'd known all along I couldn't donate, but was trying to guilt me anyway. Why? I pretended to schedule surgery prep, and Xavier got excited. Started talking about how grateful he was. Then mentioned something odd. Said his friend Nicole had gone through the same thing and recovery was easy. I asked what same thing. He said kidney donation to her boyfriend. Nicole was his coworker who'd been texting him a lot lately. I looked up Nicole online and found her recovery posts from 6 months ago. She'd donated a kidney all right, to someone named X. Coleman. Xavier's middle name was Coleman. The dates matched when Xavier had supposedly gone to a conference in Phoenix. He had a kidney transplant 6 months ago from Nicole. It failed because he didn't follow post-surgery rules, kept drinking, wouldn't take anti-rejection meds properly, missed follow-ups. His body rejected Nicole's kidney and now he needed another one. He'd wasted a perfectly good kidney from his girlfriend, then tried to guilt his wife into giving another. I called Nicole pretending to be a transplant coordinator confirming details. She broke down crying saying Xavier had promised to marry her if she donated. Instead, he stayed with me and now wouldn't return her calls. She'd given him a literal organ and he'd ghosted her. She had one kidney left and lifelong restrictions while Xavier partied his way to needing another transplant. I invited Nicole to our anniversary dinner. Xavier had insisted on a big celebration with his whole family. Perfect audience. When everyone was seated, I stood to make a toast. Said I wanted to thank everyone for their concern about Xavier's kidney situation. Then I turned to Nicole and thanked her for already donating her kidney to Xavier 6 months ago. Xavier choked on his wine. Ruth asked what I meant. Nicole stood up and told everything. The surgery, the promises, the failed kidney because Xavier wouldn't follow medical orders. She showed them her scar and the medical bills Xavier had promised to pay, but didn't. Glenn asked Xavier if this was true. Xavier tried to deny it, but Nicole had receipts, hospital records with his name, recovery photos together, texts about their future after she saved his life. Even a ring he bought her then returned. The same ring he'd proposed to me with originally. Used engagement ring for his wife. Returned ring for his organ donor. Ruth asked Xavier why he'd lied about needing a kidney when he'd just wasted one. He said Nicole's wasn't of good enough quality. Nicole missing a kidney said her quality was fine until he destroyed it with alcohol. Paula called Xavier disgusting. Bill walked out without a word. Catherine said she'd donate to someone who deserved it, but not him. Xavier filed for divorce the next week saying I'd humiliated him. I counterfiled saying he'd tried to harvest my organs through emotional manipulation. The judge wasn't amused by his scheme. Xavier got nothing in the divorce and had to pay Nicole's medical bills from the failed donation. He's on the donor list now, but when they found out he'd wasted Nicole's kidney through non-compliance, he got moved to the bottom. Could be years before another match. Has to do dialysis 3 times a week. Can't drink anymore. Has to follow every rule perfectly, or they'll remove him from the list entirely.